So my friends, this is Daniel McBrearty.
Hello.
And this is Adrian Underhill.
Hello.
You're from England, aren't you?
I'm from England.
And
And
you
I'm
are?
from Wales, but I live in Belgium now.
And he speaks all the languages.
Yeah.
And Daniel brought something really special that he made. And I know nothing about it, so I'll let these two guys talk. And Adrian doesn't know anything about this particular thing, so he can ask the questions that I will just fill.
Okay.
Tell us about the amp, Daniel.
Well,
Good job, Adrian.
hello, Irene. Hello, Irene's Gypsy Jazz Adventures. So this is this is a prototype. In fact, it's a working prototype of a new design. I should explain. I'm a musician. I come to Stanmore every year. I play clarinet and saxophone and so on. Also, I had a career. I still have a career as an analog electronics engineer, and I specialized in audio for a lot of years. So basically, I decided to make an amplifier which is based on the sound and the appearance of the classic Steinmer amp that everybody loves, but it runs off batteries. So there's no valves inside. It's a solid-state amplifier. It uses some quite modern technology, but the sound is tuned to sound nice and warm and give you that beautiful, authentic tone. And this gentleman pull away.
There are boats and cars and I don't know whatever.
Everything.
Okay.
Okay. So my line of battery-powered amplifiers, I should explain. I've done also some ones more designed for rock guitar and bass guitar and so on. But this particular, the line is called the Mighty Flea. And this particular amplifier is the Mighty Flea, the Samoa Special. So yeah,
Mighty Flea.
There you go, the Samoa Special. So as you can see, it's a pretty simple design. It's got a nice 10-inch, good quality 10-inch speaker inside. It runs off a single battery. In fact, the battery is the type normally used for model aircraft and so on. It has ridiculously good battery life, and it sounds warm, clean, and it's not so loud, this model, but it's certainly loud enough for most of what people want in this environment, I think. Now, this is a prototype. It's a working prototype. We've tested it and so on. But maybe we're going to take it around the campsite and let some people try it out and see what it sounds like and see what the reactions are, which is quite interesting. Okay.
That looks okay to
So
me.
it really looks beautiful, I must say. Can you say something about the sound that it's going to make, the sound that you've been trying to get, whether it's for electrical or acoustic guitar?
I gig with quite a lot of guys playing gypsy guitar and so on. I've had the experience in the past, for instance, playing in the street with guys, and I know that it's quite difficult for people in those environments to get enough sound. You don't need a very loud amplifier, but you need a bit of reinforcement. But it's very important that the sound is reasonably clean. And what I do in this circuit, I have there's a limiter in there, which means you cannot, there's actually the amplifier in here is in fact a digital amplifier, and the reason for that, it's very efficient. That gives you good battery life. If you would try and put a valve amplifier like a Steiner on batteries, forget it. You're going to have to carry an enormous battery around. So this thing
Good
gives
battery
you,
life means how long or what?
Let's see now. This one, it runs off a single battery. It's a 13-volt battery. I tested it a couple of hours at home, and I took it to a rehearsal for a band of mine, and the guy had it turned up completely full because there was a drummer, and we got in the end about 4 hours out of it.
Okay.
So that's pretty
Enough
good.
for a gig.
Easily enough for a gig, yeah. And what I want to say as well is in the final version, there's going to be the option to use 2 batteries, which will give you a lot more volume, and also to use, I wanted to actually fit a different speaker which would have given better volume, but I wasn't able to get one in time, in fact. So with a different speaker, it'll also be a lot louder. Okay. So that's the basic idea.
Is there also the option that you can plug it in as well, or not?
Yeah, there will be that option as well.
Okay.
You'll be able to use an external 24-volt supply and hook it up, and if you want to use it in a cafe without using the battery, you can do that.
Okay.
Indeed. The other thing that's very nice is it comes, these batteries are designed for model aircraft, and you can buy them relatively cheaply from China, and they come with a very smart charger. You can charge the battery off your car battery. Right? So if you're in the
That's
camping
really
or something,
smart,
you don't even need to have a main supply. You can recharge it the thing. So it's a pretty cool little...
So, volume-wise, this is good for just a little extra when you're playing out in the street or playing on the campsite.
Certainly.
If you're in a pub where there's a bit of noise, would this be something you could use?
The volume can, the peak power can be anything between about 8, which is what you'd get from like perhaps one of the little Steimer copies,
Yeah.
up to about 50 watts in fact.
Okay.
So if you put, not with this speaker, but if you put a 4-ohm speaker in there rated for like 60 watts and 2 batteries, you get a lot of volume out of it. It's very loud at that point.
So that's
Yeah.
the volume and the tone. You've got a tone control here.
Yeah.
Now, is that
Yeah.
a tone control that just takes off the treble, or I mean,
It both ways. It's what they call a tilt control.
It's a
So
tilt.
one way boosts bass and drops treble, or vice versa. But what I might do in the final version is actually give you independent bass, mid, and treble. I think that gives you more flexibility, and I have a
Yes.
nice circuit for that. The other thing we've got on here is a very nice. This is a little experimental, but because some people, you know, this very typical Django late 50s sound.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to do that in a digital amplifier by actually distorting the amp, I gave you a little distortion switch so you can get that kind of gritty Django sound if you want it.
So dist is distortion,
Distortion.
just to give you a little edge on the
Yeah,
note.
that's it. Yeah.
A hot edge.
Maybe I'm going to call it the Django 58 switch.
Yeah. D58.
Okay. Something like that, yeah. And there's also a little switch here which gives you, just slightly gives you a warmer, more valve-like tone. So that's not labeled because it was a late
That's
addition to the
interesting.
prototype.
So say a bit more about that.
What this does is, this was actually, after I built the prototype, I found a way to make the output stage of the amp we can try it in a minute. I'll demonstrate it when we get over and somebody plugs it in, but you'll hear that it just gives the sound a bit more of that valve warmth.
Okay.
And it's just a little trick I used on the output stage of the amp to...
And so far you've mainly tested this with electric and magnetic inputs.
Yeah,
So,
indeed, and semi-acoustics and Fenders and so on. It'd be interesting to try it with a Steimer and see what it sounds like. I haven't tried that
And
yet.
interesting
So.
to try with Audio Technica and other,
Sure.
you know...
Yeah, there's no mic input at the moment, but
Okay.
that could be added. We could put a
Yes,
mic input
yeah,
on it.
yeah.
That's no problem. Hey guys. Okay, so there you go.